Hi everyone, good Tuesday afternoon and welcome to the 3 p.m. show of Go Local Live. I'm Go Local News editor Kate Nagel. Would like to welcome in folks from Revelfest taking place this weekend, and kicking it off with me is Richard Davia. Thank you for coming into the studio. I appreciate it.
How are you?
I'm so good. So much excitement around what's taking place this weekend. Partying like it's the 1980s everything with the Revelfest.
Everything, that's it.
So tell everyone, this is the multimedia festival that celebrates the energy pulsating through Rhode Island's music, fashion, and arts cultures. So tell folks who might not be familiar with Revelfest what they can expect this coming Saturday.
Oh, there's a lot to expect. We've been planning this for, gosh, it feels like almost a year since the last Revelfest, so this is the third year in a row we are doing it. Kate, you got it right with art, music, and fashion, so this is all about the making experience where we don't just present art, music, and fashion, but we actually unfold it and create it live right in front of you. So right off the bat, this is Revelfest 19, and a little bit about some of what you'll be seeing at that event. Starting it off right at 7 p.m. on this Saturday. Art on the Spot presents the Revel Goddess, so there's going to be live body painting happening at the same time as Cote. So Paul Cote is a local artist, and he does live painting to live music, so you'll see this guy up on ladders throwing paint down onto the ground, and probably onto some pretty fun 80s art objects as well. So that's all kind of happening at the same time.
I love the cue cards, I gotta say. I love the cue cards.
I like my props. Later on in the evening, you're going to see a fashion show. It's produced by Lights Fashion Philanthropy. We're bringing, 10 local artists, designers, and models that are going to walk the runway live during a set from Beehive, and Beehive is a band that I'm in, and we're doing a full set of B-52's music, so the live music experience is complemented by a live fashion show. And the cool thing about the fashion show is that you get to participate in the show, where you get to vote on your best 80s look. We're creating an art exhibit called the Love Shack, and that's happening also at Revelfest. You get to vote there. There's going to be, a live silk screen vendor creating shirts. So again, we're just making these shirts with silk screening while we're at the event itself. We're not just selling them. We will be selling them.
This is a maker fest.
This is a maker fest, exactly. All local Rhode Island artists making it happen. All of the proceeds benefit Revel Factory, so we do arts programming for our community, number one, and we're creating a new artist grant program as well. So all of the funds, 100% of the funds, go right into that to support this amazing event. It's going to be tons of fun. Metamorphosis Dance Company are also counting down the 80s throughout the night.
With the solid gold dancer.
With the solid gold dancer. So it's all 80s, all everything. Lots of color, lots of fun, lots of music, lots of food. It's going to be a cool night.
So talk with us a little bit, let's talk a little logistics. So folks who are watching right now saying this sounds super cool, this sounds totally awesome. Starting at 7 p.m., but logistics.
7 p.m., okay.
Place,
tickets. It's at the Revel Factory, and that's downtown Pawtucket on Roosevelt Avenue, right at the heart of the Arts and Entertainment and Theater District in Pawtucket. Tickets are available at revelfest.com. All of the artist listings are there as well. But you can get tickets right from the homepage. One click of the button bounces you over to Eventbrite. Tickets are $20 in advance. And then the evening or day of the show, I want to say at noon, I'm not quite sure when exactly, we go into, I think it's the day of the show, they bounce up to $25, but all pre-sale tickets, which are available now, are just $20.
Okay.
And that $20 gets you in, like I said, at 7 o'clock. We go right until midnight, where toward the end of the evening, the Extraordinary Rendition Band and DJ Uncle Thirsty are going to be kind of bringing down the house with a kind of 80s vibe. Dance experience, or an 80s party.
So it kind of turns into an 80s dance party.
It's going to all turn into an 80s dance party after the fashion show and after my band's presentation with Beehive as well. So.
You know what I love? I love the young folks who weren't kids in the 80s, weren't teens in the 80s, embracing the 80s culture.
It's so funny, like the 80s, there's something about it where if you weren't living in the 80s or didn't experience the 80s or maybe weren't even born in the 80s, there's just a fun movie, music, cultural kind of experience all the way around that everyone kind of grabs onto because it's just colorful and fun.
Well, I think what the world needs now is some more color and
More
some more
color
fun.
and
More
more
color,
fun,
more
yeah.
fun. Again, really celebrating the best of music and fashion and the arts culture here, which is so vibrant in Rhode Island. I mean, this is the third one. I mean, just how much energy is there at this event?
It's pretty pumping. So you really have to kind of be here. I'm hoping, and I'm sure that people who are watching this now may have gone to our past two events, but we are doing our best to describe what it is, but it is an experience. You have to kind of be there because I could show you pictures and I can explain it, but because we actually make things there, meaning we make music, we make art, we make fashion, you don't know what the outcome of it is going to be until it actually happens. So it's a little bit different every time, and it's planned and it's scripted to a point, but we also kind of keep it loose to allow for improvisation and experimentation.
And then the interaction makes the event.
Exactly. We want to pull the audience into it, with the music, with the dance experience, with the fashion show, so you get to vote. We want everybody to come dressed up like your favorite icon as well, so it can be a bit of a costume party, but if you don't want to dress up, that's cool too. Just wear a t-shirt and jeans and you'll
come
be right
as
at
yourself,
home.
come as you are. That's the next decade. But we have a little bit of Revelfest that we're bringing straight to you from here. We're going to start with a little bit of the Solid Gold Dancers with Alicia Wilder. So, Richard, I'm going to let you go. If you're watching and again interested, we'll put those links up as well. We're going to bring back Alicia here in just one moment.
Perfect. Ciao.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Go Local Live as we feature Revelfest taking place this Saturday in Pawtucket. But of course, we want to now welcome in our next guest, Alicia Wilder. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you so much for having us.
Well, I love having Richard Davia in, explaining the nuts and bolts of what to be expected this weekend, partying like it's 1980s everything. And I love that you have come pretty much in costume. Mom chick, the bracelets, everything.
Totally, exactly. You gotta embrace it, you know? It's fun, it's vibrant, it's part of the whole thing.
So you're bringing your dance expertise to the performance on Saturday night, focusing on a Solid Gold Dancers theme and performance. For those who know the 80s, and I know the 80s, you might remember those Solid Gold Dancers. So talk with us a little bit about what we might expect on Saturday night.
Yeah, so as Richard was saying, there's so much happening, but it's not like a scheduled event where you sit down and you watch. It just sort of like pops up. So from the start of the event all the way through the end, we're going to be popping up as our tribute to the Solid Gold Dancers, and we're going to be counting down the top 10 songs of the 80s. So there'll be like little snippets of the songs number 10 through number 2, and then number 1 we're going to do a dance to the full thing,
big
and that's
routine.
going to be really exciting, very bright, very colorful. But we wanted to sort of like throw it back to something that people who, really love the 80s and cherish all those little things from there can really relate to, but also something that's like fun for people who are like me, who didn't live in the 80s but love it, and will be able to recognize the music and the artists that are highlighted.
What do you think the allure is of the 80s? Again, for those folks who might be a little bit too young to have lived through it.
Yeah.
But again, the celebration, the colors, the music, what is the lure?
I think it's the music, and it's the 80s for me, even though I didn't really experience them, I always get thrown back to it was just all about having fun and being who you were and trying something new and being a little crazy, which is, something that I personally enjoy. So I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Okay, very good. So in addition to putting on these Solid Gold pop-up routines, and then leading up to number one. What are you looking forward to on Saturday night?
Seeing all the people dressed to their best 80s selves, and also just this year the artists are all doing something themed. So we've got circus artists, we've got body painters, we've got musicians, we've got burlesque happening, and so just like seeing all the little things come together, because we have all these artists that sort of send us what they're going to do, and we pick and choose and put them all together, but we don't get to see like the full effect until the night of. So,
and as Richard was saying, it's really that making of the art, and then also an audience participation as well, that you can only plan to a certain extent, but it's really just the whole experience of taking part in Revelfest.
Yeah, so for us, Revel Factory, which is what is benefiting from Revelfest, is really about making art accessible to everyone. So for this event, it's all about like immersing yourself in the art that we're creating. It's not just to like come and see it, but to be a part of it. So that's just like a hint towards what we're going to do with Revel Factory for the next year is really immersive. So the night should be immersive too.
Well, very good. I'm so excited to see what the Solid Gold dancers have in store. Again, if you remember the 80s, and I lived in the 80s, Solid Gold dancers were certainly a staple. So Alicia Wilder, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And we're going to welcome our next Revelfest guest, a very big name, if you will. I'll be right back here in studio, so don't go anywhere. Hi everyone, welcome back to the 3 o'clock Revelfest themed show here on GoLocal Live. Now Revelfest is partying like it's the 1980s, everything this weekend, the multimedia festival at the Revel Factory that celebrates the energy pulsating through Rhode Island's music, fashion, and arts cultures. And by God, I think we have Boy George.
Do you really want to hurt me? Oh.
So, Boy George,
Yes,
what
yes.
can we expect from you on Saturday night at the Revel Factory?
Well, you know, it's been a long time since I've been here to Rhode Island, and people might be surprised to know that I've left the band for a little bit, and I've taken up tending bar, so I'll be tending bar that evening.
So you'll be pouring some drinks. What are the Boy George cocktails of choice?
Oh, well, you know, whatever the people want. We'll have our standard beer, wine, a few Revelfest spectacular specialty cocktails as well, and please make sure everyone come visit me at the bar. I don't want to get too lonely.
Will you sing some songs for the tip jar?
Oh, please, if I get a tip, I'll sing whatever you want, even if it's a Madonna song. I don't care.
And Boy George, what are you looking forward to seeing on Saturday night? We've got Solid Gold dancers, we've got some body paint, we've got performances and dancing.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to when you're not behind the bar?
Oh, well, hopefully I get to sneak out to the bar because I do have a costume change that I'd like to fancy getting into if I can sneak away for a little bit. But, you know, in addition to everything that you just mentioned, we do have some vendors there selling some jewelry and some fashion. We also have, what else do we have going on? We have some burlesque dances. We have some, just everything you could possibly imagine going on.
So, Boy George, I do have to ask you, why, in your estimation, is the 80s the best decade?
Well, it's when I hit my peak, first of all. But actually, you know, the 80s was great because it really was the birth of free expression in the arts and entertainment industry. You know, it was a little stifled in the 50s and the 60s, and entering the 70s, got a little bit more loose with my friend David Bowie, of course. But once the 80s rolled around, it was full-on self-expression, and I must say I'd probably led the pack, especially with my pom-poms.
Full-on self-expression in the 80s. But I want you, from that outsider perspective, to say, why is the arts and music and fashion and creating culture in Rhode Island just so great?
Well, it's been a long time since I've been to this little state, and I must say it's quite spectacular. And what I really enjoy about this space and this place is that it's just quite accepting, and everywhere you turn there's something to look at, from the marvelous architecture here in downtown Providence, to all the murals on the buildings, to the nightlife. There's always something to do 7 days a week, and it's just a fantastic and vibrant place to just meander around. You'll always find something to do. It's quite lovely.
Well, I do believe we do have Alicia and a special guest, perhaps around the corner.
Oh, special guest!
Here it is, some of the folks that you will see at Revelfest this Saturday, April 13th. The Beehive will be in the house as well, giving some B-52s love.
All night.
And if, again, you love the 80s, you love the arts culture here in Rhode Island, you'll be sure to want to check out Revelfest again this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. So I want to thank all my Revelfest guests coming in, Richard, Alicia, and of course, Boy George. And of course, join us back when we're here in studio at 4 o'clock, talking a little more news and politics. But thank you for watching.